Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington, D.C., I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
Walking across the town of Kansas Bridge, you're standing above more than rail lines and riverbank. You're standing above a name, Kansas. It did not begin as a city, it began with a people. The name comes from the Kansa, also known as the Kaw Nation. Long before brick warehouses and steamboats, the Kaw lived along this river valley. They hunted bison across the plains, farmed along fertile riverbanks, and moved seasonally with intention and knowledge of the land. The Missouri River was not a trade corridor to them, it was a homeland. The word Kansas is commonly translated as people of the south wind. Whether exact or simplified, it reflects identity rooted in place. When American settlers arrived in the early 19th century, they adopted the name of the tribe for the river, then for the territory, and eventually for the city. The town of Kansas was named in 1838, but the name itself was far older. As settlement increased, pressure on the Kaw intensified. Treaties reduced their landholdings repeatedly. Disease, displacement, and federal policy forced relocation. By the 1870s, most of the Kaw people had been removed to present-day Oklahoma. The name remained here. The people did not. Standing on this bridge, you are between those layers. The river below you once sustained indigenous villages. It later carried American expansion westward. The shift was not peaceful or simple. It was part of a larger national story unfolding right here along this water. And that story quickly became volatile. In the 1850s, just west of where you stand, the Kansas Territory became the center of a national crisis. The question was simple but explosive. Would Kansas enter the Union as a free state or a slave state? Missouri, already a slave state, sat directly across the river. The Missouri River corridor became a political fault line. Pro-slavery groups crossed into Kansas Territory to influence elections. Abolitionist settlers moved in to resist them. Violence followed. The period became known as Bleeding Kansas. Towns were raided, ballots were manipulated, armed conflict erupted. The tension here was not abstract. It shaped national politics and helped push the country towards a civil war. Kansas eventually entered the Union as a free state in 1861. Missouri remained divided internally throughout the war. Kansas City itself experienced guerrilla conflicts and instability. This river was both boundary and bridge, separating legal systems while connecting economies and ideologies. From this walkway you can see how geography made conflict inevitable. A river dividing territories, rail lines feeding commerce, land rich enough to fight over, names layered over earlier names. The town of Kansas Bridge feels calm today. Cyclists cross it, trains move beneath it. The skyline rises to the south, but the ground you're standing on holds contested history. The Kaw people gave this place its name. Settlers built a town on it. The slavery debate ignited beside it. The Missouri River carried all of it forward. Standing here, you're not just crossing infrastructure, you're crossing centuries of identity, removal, conflict, and transformation. And the name Kansas still carries that weight.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.